What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Soul TCG, and we're out here with that fire, that heat, that sauce, that canine vanquish soul deck profile, guys. The right way to play it. All right, guys, listen, I can't wait to get into this one with you guys. And what did we just see at this last YCS? VS Canine took it, but what also did we see? A lot of canine throughout the tops. Throughout top 64, even top 100, there was a lot of canine in there, all right? A good 25, 30, 40% maybe, I don't know, 25 to 40% was canine variants, all right? This is exactly what I was talking about. When Draco Tail won the 2 opens in the YCS, what did I tell you boys? Canine destroys Draco Tail. That being said, what did that make? What just happened? I'm giving this to you guys because I'm explaining why I do things, all right? So, because some people are like, why do you do ratios? Why do you do these hand traps? I make meta calls, guys. I constantly review every single tournament and make meta calls. That's why I said I was putting out a VSK9 deck profile, because I knew it was a good call into the meta. I still think Pierce 20 times better. It's just a lot of people don't know how to pilot it properly, but pure, I'm all for pure, right? So, but either way, VS-K9 is still probably very much so up there. So is the other variants, the K9 Mitsu variant, that's also up there. The K9 Fiendsmith, now that it has a bridge, is also up there, but these decks all require to have good pilots, all right? That being said, guys, that's why I was telling you guys, this is what's going on. K9 should be up there. There's no reason this much Draco Tail is out there. K9 is up there. All these K9 decks, the reason they took it was because it was a good meta call. A lot more people were on Draco Tail than Yummy. Yummy is a better matchup into the K9 variants. So that being said, what can we expect coming up within the next 2 months or so? Probably a lot more Yummy variants, all right? So that's probably gonna be coming up inside the next tournaments. But for right now, there's K9 hype. What happens when you got the K9 hype? Draco's Tail is still very much so out there, but people are recognizing that K9's out there, all right? I'm trying to get you guys the insight inside the head, all right? So this is how you prepare for top level tournaments, regionals, YCSs, you know, this is how you prepare, because this is what you're gonna be seeing. So when people are wondering why I took Drolls out of the main deck and I put in Perulias, meta call, all right? Because if you ran Perulia into a K9 matchup, you're gonna be cooking, all right? You're gonna be drawing. It's just like a Fua in that matchup. Same thing in a VS K9 matchup. It's like a Fua in that matchup, all right? So you're getting like double the value. Plus with the Charmies, it's at least an upstart into the Draco Tail matchups, because you have to normal summon at least once. All right, they're gonna normal summon at least one time. You're gonna at least get one draw. Whereas Droll does is you neg one, they already did their one ad off of their Lucaeus, and that's it, or their Ketu. Like you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything at all with the Droll. All right, but at least you're digging into more engine or more possible hand traps. That's why I was telling you boys to put in the Perulias into the main. That's exactly it, guys. I make meta calls. I watch the meta. I watch all these tournaments. I look at all these deck lists, and then I adjust my own deck list and adjust my own ratios based off of what I see. So what I put out is for the current meta. All right. That being said, guys, this deck list is also still for the current meta. All right. So I'm very excited to get into this. But before we get into this video, boys, did y'all get your steps in, boys? Be honest with me. Be honest with me. Listen, we're not just bettering ourselves mentally, boys. We're bettering ourselves physically, all right? So get out there, get active, stay active, boys, all right? It doesn't matter if you got injuries. It doesn't matter if, you know, you had a bad day. You know, it doesn't matter if your world's turning upside down. Get active. Get active. Why? All right, if you have injuries, right, and you're going outside for a simple walk, you're gonna start getting better circulation, better blood flow. It's gonna help heal those injuries, guys. I have plenty of injuries from when I was in the Army, still do, till this day, all right? and it still stay active, and it only helps improve it. It only helps maintain your way of life, you know? So you guys want to make sure you're staying active. If you had a horrible day, your world's turning upside down, guess what? When you get active, you're getting the blood circulating through your bodies. You're getting endorphins firing off, all right? You know what that means? You're going to be in a better mood. It's going to make you feel better. Yeah, you might have had a horrible day. You know, your world might be turning upside down, but that little bit right there is just going to, maybe it'll take you one step away from the edge, right? And as long as you're not falling off the edge, you're ahead of the game, all right? So stay active, boys, and you don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to be one of my stories. All right, you don't have to, all right? But you do got to make sure you're taking care of yourselves physically, boys, all right? So make sure you're staying out there, getting active, and being active all day, every day. Now, if you're my soul's boys, once you've crushed that gym, boys, make sure you're hopping on that treadmill, hop on that Stairmaster, get your cardio in. Guys, put this video on, put a video on, all right? Watch the video. By the time you finish your video, you're enwrapped in the video. You're enwrapped in, maybe you got your anime app, the Crunchyroll's on there on your phone. You got the Netflix, you got the Hulu. You know, maybe you put on a show instead too. Right? By the time you finish that show, you're done with your cardio. It's that easy. It's that easy. Me personally, I love doing YouTube videos just like this, all right? Because I'll review it and then I start thinking about sauce. You know, I'm starting to better myself with, you know, my gameplay, my game mechanics. So I'm always constantly looking for different things that I can help improve myself mentally while I'm improving myself physically, all right? So guys, make sure you're staying on that cardio. It is very important. Now, without further ado, let's hop into the correct way to build VSK9. What's going on, guys? Let's go ahead and jump on into this VSK9 deck profile. We're gonna start off with the engines, non-engine, extra deck, and then side deck. So to start off, we will go over the K9 package. We are on 3 copies of Azuna. Very self-explanatory. Azuna is a god card. Very good into this format. We are on 3 copies of Noroi. All right, Noroi is the GOAT. The reason we are on 3 copies is because this is a heavier K9 build. We're focusing more on the K9 with all the hits, the consistency with VS. We wanted to make sure that we maximize with an engine that is untouched and that is very, very oppressive. So this is our best normal summon in the deck, next to Razin. But our goal is to hopefully special all of them out. Next up, our other GOAT. We are on 3 copies of Jokul. Jokul, pretty self-explanatory. He helps us bridge with all the other VS names, the Jiaolong, Su, you know, so he just helps with extra extension. Very, very strong card. Naturally, you gotta maximize this guy. One copy of Lantern. I would almost want to play an additional copy of Lantern. I think that's worth testing to play 2 copies of Lantern in this build. But for right now, I just wanted to limit a little bit more of the K9 engine where I could, only because I wanted to make sure that I have access to my VS name, my VS names. So I wanted to limit it a little bit. I don't want to touch the other cards. I think the other cards are way too strong, but we do need to at least have a minimum of 1 copy of this. The rest, if we get forced in a grind game, our VS engine should be able to handle the rest of it for us. 1 copy of Lupus, self-explanatory. There have been builds that have been testing out 2 copies. I don't necessarily think it's wrong. It was a good meta call, but I don't think going forward that we would want to attempt to do 2 copies, at least for right now, where the meta says. I think 1 is perfectly fine. And again, we also want to make sure that we're seeing VS names. 3 copies of a case for K9. So I've watched a few videos and I've seen other players not play this. I've said this multiple times on all my K9 builds. This is your best starter. Without a doubt, this is your best starter, because you bring this out, you grab your Noroi, it plays through Droll. People are like, oh, it doesn't play through Droll well. I think the one YouTuber, Joshua Smith, I can't stand that guy just because he talks so much crap about Yu-Gi-Oh all the time and is like, Yu-Gi-Oh's dying, bro. Like, stop playing the game then. But anyways, he was on 2 copies of this. I think that's very incorrect. He said that it was because it loses a draw, but that's not true because Case is searching you either, depending on your hand, is going to search you in Azuna or it's going to search you in Noroi 10 out of 10 times. So both Noroi and Azuna play through draw fine. So I think it's absolutely fine. Like, I don't care if my opponent draws me on Case. Like, you're still gonna have layered interruption, and you can still typically get to a Nash Knight, pop this, and then have a rank up. So, like, this card is just phenomenal. And the fact that when you grab this and you grab your Noroi, you get to look at your opponent's hand instantly without having to grab a lantern, and that's when a second lantern typically would come up. You know, you don't have to do that. You know, you start with this, you get a look at your opponent's hand, and you get to just start going crazy. So Case for K9 is the best starter. Out of all the K9 cards, this is the best starter, and this should always be played at 3. This is a Rhoda for free. This is a Rhoda that can also set a quick play, and that also gives you an attack boost. This is insane. This is Fire Formation Tinky on steroids. So on steroids, boys, because this card is just absolutely crack, guys. So maximize this card. I don't care what anybody says. And as you guys seen from the deck list, or if you haven't seen the deck list, Droll wasn't really played in the main. There was, some people didn't even side it, all right? And we are also not siding Droll in this build, and you'll see why soon. But either way, a lot of people weren't playing it. They were on the Charmies, and that was it. They had multiple layers of interruption, but either way, there wasn't that much Droll out there. Don't get me wrong, Droll's still out there. Absolutely is. And there's still people that are running it at 3 in the main deck, but it's not as prevalent as people might think. The 1 brick in our deck, this is just, I mean, it's forced, guys. I don't think I need to say much more. This card isn't, if you're playing K9 and you're not playing force release, you're not playing K9. Like, you're not, because this card is way too good. This card gives you so much advantage. It's just, I don't need to speak anymore on that, guys. You got to play your force. All right, so for the spicy portion of the engine here, start off with the VS names. So VS engine, we are on 3 copies of Jiaolong. The main reason we're on 3 copies of Jiaolong, me personally, before I was preferred 2, but with the lack of Razin, we need to have more fires. Jiaolong's not bad of a fire because it's a 5. So we want to make sure that we have fires. We want to make sure we have VS names. So being a 5 and being a fire is the main reason we play it at 3 right now. Now, if Razin or Steak came off the list, I'd definitely cut this down. Three Sue, pretty self-explanatory. This is a God card. You resolve this card, you're pretty much winning the duel. This card is insane. And I can't wait to do Soul Duels and show you guys just how powerful it is. But maximize this out. Sue, obviously. It's what gave VS the strong push that it has. Next up, 2 Mad Loves. Guys, people play this at 3. I think that's incorrect. I don't want a normal summon Mad Love. I don't want to really see Mad Love at all in my hand. I'd rather search this or special it off of Sue or Steak. I don't want this in my hand. I'd rather have, we have Darks and we have Steak, you know, and we have plenty of Darks in the K9 engine. Our Jokels are dark, you know, our Lantern is dark. We're good on Darks. We have plenty of Darks in this deck. And I don't want to normal summon this. I really don't want to see this card in my hand. But it's still fine of a normal summon. But a lot of people play this at 3. I understand why. We're limited on engine, we're limited on starters, but this is a heavier K9 version of VS, all right? So I wanted to limit as much bricks as possible. I feel like this is a bigger brick than our Jiaolong because we need more fires to be able to resolve effects. We have plenty of Darks in this deck. We want to see more fires. So the Jiaolongs, yes, it needed to be at 3, but this guy, he does not, and he conflicts with Noroi. I'd rather normal summon Noroi than this guy. So I put him at 2, where most people would put Noroi at 1 or 2, and then play this at 3. I'd rather see my K9 engine. I'd rather normal summon Noroi, and then just dig for VS names and VS engine. So playing this at 2, absolutely fine. And the other reason that we're playing this at 2 is because one of the best normal summons is Razin. So we already have, like I always say in all my videos, And as much as I tested, you don't want to have more than 6 normal summons. You don't want to have more than 6 like hardcore normal summons. 6 is perfectly fine. It's a good ratio to have 6 normal summons in a 40 card deck. It increases your odds of seeing a powerful normal summon. So me personally, I don't want to see it. All right, so I'd rather see the Razin. This is essentially, the Razin is essentially just, you know, my 3rd copy of a normal summon for the VS matchup, all right, or for the VS portion of the engine. So I don't want to see these guys inside my hand, but we do need the names, and Mad Love is very consistent and gets us what we need. So only playing that. Obviously the one Razin is very self-explanatory. This card's amazing. This card's a god card. It provides so much extra value and interruption on your opponent. The other one ofs, 1 Borger and 1 Caesar. Pretty self-explanatory here. You need to play these guys. It just adds so much value, and you don't really, these aren't really bricks because these really help you dodge hand traps. So these cards are perfectly fine. These guys work very well, but you don't want to have any more of these. I've seen people play this at 2. It's not really incorrect. It's just how you layer your engines. All right. So if you're layering your engine more towards the K9 version, like I am, this is a K9 heavy version, then you have to limit out some of the other portions of your engine. So that being said, we only play these guys at 1 and 1. Next up, 1 Stake Your Soul, pretty self-explanatory. 1 Start, and 1 Rhoda. All right, so this right here is gonna give you your other Razin, and that's the only reason we play it, is just so we have access. This is essentially a fire. So this is a fire in your hand, and we don't really care if they interact with this, because if they interact with these cards, guess what happens? We're gonna Azuna and full combo on them with K9. So essentially you would lead with your VS portion if you can, and then from there you just full combo with the K9. And it also depends on the matchup. You could lead with K9, but either way, the K9 is the heavier portion of this deck, and this is it. I'm not running the trap in here. We're running Force. I don't feel like it's necessary to run the trap plus Force. This is a heavier K9 build. VS has so much interruption on its own. Yes, the trap is crazy, but you have so much interruption with the VS engine, you don't need the trap. The trap is like win more, and it's a brick. So I'd rather have Force as my only brick in this deck, and then the rest just be fluid. That is it for the engines. Now for the non-engine, we are on 3 copies of Ash, the best hand trap in the game. When you start off your deck list, boys, you're putting 3 copies of Ash in. This matchup even more so because it is also a fire. We need fires, so having 3 Ash in here is just phenomenal because it helps your engine, and then on top of that is the best defensive and offensive card in the game currently, so maximize that. 3 Fualos. This is the only hand trap that conflicts, but it's Fualos. We want to be able to dig for our cards. We want to have more cards in our hand. We want to see more names in our hand. So that way we maximize the Fualos and make sure that we have access to it. It's a god card. When you start your deck, you put in 3 Ash, you put in 3 Fualos. Next up, we got the god cards. Talents, this card probably should have been banned, like I always say. And since it's not banned, we play it. Call by is called by. We want to make sure we have protection from Fuas, Drolls, all that, you name it. Then 1 copy of Shifter, because our deck doesn't really care if we get shifted. And Draco Tail and Yummy all care about being shifted, so we play Shifter, guys. And it's a dark, so it plays with our attributes. People do side this card. I don't think that's necessary. Depending on your matchup, you can just side it out and you'll see we have plenty of stuff you can side out for when you're going second. So right now, I think this is absolutely perfect to have it inside the deck. Right, if you're playing K9 in general, I'd be main decking Shifter just because you can. And it just, it is such a, this card also should have been banned. I mean, this card is degenerate. Like, this card is just insane. It should have been banned, but it's a free win, guys. You see this card, you won. So, I mean, play cards. When you can see a card and win the game, you should probably play it, right? So, play Shifter. Next up, Tikaboo. Same thing with the my pure K9 list and also my previous VS K9 build that I put out. Tikaboo is a god card in here. Everything is a different type. All right. Literally everything. Everything in the VS engine is a different type. Everything inside the K9 engine is a different type. So Tikaboo is just a god card in your deck because it absolutely doesn't affect you at all. And it destroys Yummy, it destroys Draco Tail, it destroys Branded, it destroys so many decks because so many decks revolve around one or two types. So this is just such a phenomenal card to have. It destroyed Mermail. Like, this card is just insane, guys. So play this card. And then for the 40th card, I was debating on whether I was playing the trap or not, but I decided I want to see more fires. I think Kurikara is a strong meta call for this format, so having the one Kurikara I feel like is a very good option, just because this also helps you out Liger too. So if like they use their Liger effect, its summon is the same thing as a Kaiju, so it doesn't activate, so you can send their Lunalite Liger Dancer to special this out. If they use the effect to nuke the board, then you can just special them out by tributing it, right? And it's the same thing. Maybe they already cycled through, maybe you baited a few interactions, use this and you're cycling through. The Kurikara is not bad into the format right now, and I think with the VS portion of the deck, it just helps you out so much more that you have an additional fire. And it is also very unexpected. People will not expect this card to be played. So I think this is a great meta call right now. I think one's plenty. I don't think you need to run more than one. You could possibly side a second one, but it's okay depending on the matchups, guys. But I think this is a very solid option right now. And that is it for the main deck. That is a clean 40 list. Now we'll go into the extra deck. Extra deck, we are on 2 copies of Rock. Pretty self-explanatory. We need 2 copies of Rock. 1 copy of SP. Was debating on putting this as a Gorgon. I think Gorgon's pretty good, especially right now, but I think SP is just perfectly fine. 1 copy of Saryuja. This helps you bridge your K9 portion to help dig and find your VS names and your VS lines. So having Saryuja is a huge help into this list. I'm not a huge fan of this card because I feel like you have to overextend a little bit to get to it, but it does help out with this list because you get so much recursion and so many resources that it's not that bad inside the VS version. So as I was testing, I did feel like this card was pretty decent. I don't think I would replace it with anything else. I think this is fine. Just because like it comes up when it comes up. If you need to just stay in your K9, you can just stay in your K9. You don't need to overextend into this. Like, it just depends on your hand, but when it comes up, it does help a lot. We're playing a K9 deck, guys. We play 2 copies of Ripper. Same thing with Rock. You play 2 copies, guys. So many people were playing 1 Ripper, and every single person that was playing 1 Ripper is like, yeah, I kind of wanted a second one. You always need a second one, guys. You always need 1 for the push, and you always need 1 for the crackback. It's always been that way. It will never change. There's other cards you can cut. There's so many other cards that you could cut for a different layer, but Ripper is not one of them, all right? One copy of Jax. We are playing the heavier K9 portion. We do need an additional name. Jax is a perfect 5 for that, especially being dark, so you can use it with your Jokul. So very phenomenal card. We need another name. We needed another 5, and we need it to be not a light attribute, so it didn't conflict with Lantern and Jokul. So Jax is perfect for this. It also provides an extra layer of interruption. And if you put this underneath a werewolf, you're just doing double damage. So Jax is a god card. Definitely want to play that. 1 Valon. I think Valon is a good option for this with a limited extra deck. I think this provides a decent bit of interruption and layered interruption. So I wanted to play 1 copy of Valon in this, and it's been very consistent for me. And then obviously we are playing the C104 package. So pretty self-explanatory. It's C104, guys. You can either use Nash Knight twice, or you can rank them up and go into C104, and C104 is a literal god card. 1 copy of Werewolf. Hurts my feelings so much, guys. I'm so used to Pure having 2, but 1 copy's fine. and 1 Typhon and 1 Zeus. Typhon has been coming up and being more relevant into the Draco Tail matchup. It does stop the Draco Tail matchup pretty hard. And just like I said in my pure build, I was contemplating on dropping the Zeus in my pure build for the Typhon. And that is still a thing as I continue to tweak pure. But Zeus, you're playing an XYZ deck, you want to have Zeus, and Typhon has just been phenomenal into the matchups because of Lupus and Azuna. So I want to have him in there and continue to keep testing with him. I think this is perfectly fine to have Typhon. I think Zeus is also good. I wouldn't cut these right now, especially with how the format is changing. I think right now we should definitely play these. That is it for the extra. We'll go into the side now. Side deck, we are on 3 copies of Perulia. Perulia with 1 more draw power. We want to see as much engine as possible. We want to see as much names as possible. That's pretty self-explanatory. K9 is picking up in popularity. It's going to continue to pick up in popularity. This is a guide card into that matchup. Play Perulia. 3 Retaliating Sea. This is for your Draco Tail matchup. It's also an Earth, so it helps with the attributes. And this is also a guard card. Essentially, this is replacing the fissures out of your pure list. But Retaliating Sea is very good for this variant just because of the attribute. 3 copies of Nib. Plenty of rogues out there, plenty of other K9 builds are out there, so we want to have a high impact hand trap. Nib is that hand trap. Nib's partner in crime. 3 copies of Imperm. Imperm also, same thing, paired very well with Nib, can destroy rogues, destroys K9 variants. Also, it is phenomenal into the Draco Tail matchup, so we definitely want to have our Imperms ready for us to when we side in, because you can essentially turn our list into a heavier pure build going second and just have so much impactful non-engine. And then our only going first cards, because the only thing that we want to replace inside our deck list going first would be the Fuas. So we side out our Fuas for 3 DDG because this just destroys the meta and is just it's such a great card. And that is it for this list. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. All right, boys, I hope you enjoyed that deck profile, guys. I have so much to talk to you guys about. So much, all right? We got so much going on right now. We hit our 500 subscribers giveaway. I'm so happy, guys. I don't know if I know how to put the link down below or attach the link, but you got to go to the giveaway video, listen to the giveaway video for the instructions on how to enter the giveaway, guys. And listen here, I already said how it's gonna go down, but short story short, all right, my wife's picking out the 3 winners, all right? She's gonna do it randomly. I will have no say in it. I will not be responding to anything. I will not be liking anything, but I have read every single comment, guys. And I want to give you all something. Like, they are all such amazing and positive comments, and I'm so happy that you guys are making such a positive impact inside your lives, and it means a lot to me knowing that I'm helping some of y'all, and it means so much that you guys are just taking those steps forward for yourself. So I'm proud of every single one of you guys. I really wish I could just all y'all are first place winners. All right, this is really tough. I think my wife is probably just gonna have to do a randomizer because she read some of the comments too, and she's like, wow, this is so awesome. This is seeing the positivity, seeing how you guys are bettering yourself. It's inspiring and motivating to me too. It's like, man, I gotta step my game up now. So I love all the comments, guys. You guys are doing such a great job in there. It is beautiful, guys. It is definitely way too hard. She's gonna have to probably do a randomizer because he was like, I don't even know. I was like, yeah. I was like, you got to do it though. I was like, you got to do it because I can't. I got bias for some of these people now because like they're giving me their stories. I can relate to them. I got army guys in there. I got dads in there. I can relate to all of it. So it's like guys, you guys. But just seeing all the positivity, man. You guys are all awesome. So shout out to all of you. I feel bad that I only picking 3 winners. Like I feel bad. There has to be a first, second, third place winners here. Like. Honestly, but we're gonna have plenty more giveaways on this channel, guys. all of you guys, I'm sure, will win something eventually as we continue to grow and as this channel continues to grow. You know, hopefully we can do bigger, better giveaways, more frequent giveaways. So I'm very excited for that. Naturally, our next goal is 1,000 subscribers. Then we will be doing a Discord, guys. So once we start the Discord, then we're going to really start firing off the juices and making sure everybody's, you know, game planning and talking about meta calls, their tech options. And that's going to be awesome, guys. You know, so I'm very excited, very, very excited for that. It's going to come very soon because we got tournaments coming up like crazy. Unfortunately, I'm missing this December regional because my wife does have has something she has to go to, a baby shower for a friend. So, you know, sometimes, you know, you gotta, priorities, guys, you know, priorities, you know, you gotta make sure your wife's happy, all right? Happy wife, happy life, all right? So, you know, so she gets her thing, you know, she always lets me do these tournaments too. It's only fair that she has her opportunity to hang out with her friends and do this big thing that's very important, obviously. So that being said, we will have a lot more tournaments. There is quite a few, I think, at the end of December and early January, and then obviously the YCS in February. So, and I plan to attend all of those. I'm very excited for it. I'm gonna be rocking Pure until they ban the crap out of Joko and Noroi. So, or Mizuna. Deck's so crazy, guys. Deck's so crazy. But anyways, boys, like, very excited. I'm gonna look around for case tournaments too, so hopefully I can pop off at a case tournament for the Phantom Revenge and so on and so forth, guys. So stay tuned, lots on the way. We got, I'm cooking up Draco Tail Azamina. I need to finish picking up the rest of the Draco Tail core. I'm cooking up, still need to give you guys the Mitsu Azamina build. Got to put that together for you guys. So that will be coming out as well. We also are going to be working on the K9 Mitsu. I've been promising you guys K9 Mitsu for a hot minute now. I've just been so enwrapped inside Pure, and then VSK9 just really kind of sparked up in me just because, like, I really thought it was such a great call. And here we are, you know, won a YCS. So it was a great call. I don't know necessarily, it'd probably still be a great call for the next like couple of weeks or so, maybe. But I guarantee it's going to start shifting back towards Yummy a little bit. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I think we're going to start seeing Yummy pick up because it answers K9 as K9 starts picking up, because people are going to start being like, oh, I want to play K9 now because look at all these K9 variants, you know? So K9 is definitely getting a lot of attention. So I guarantee like 2-3 weeks, we'll probably see a lot more K9 variants, but then it's going to start trickling back over to the Yummy side of the house. So be aware of that. And we got a lot to cook up with the new set coming out. I'm building Hecka Hands Azamina. All right, Hecka Hands Azamina, boys. Yo, hella hands Azamina. Killer tunes. I want to do a killer tune synchron deck as well. I want to do a killer tune assault mode deck. A lot of cool ideas that I want to do, so I'm very excited to get into it. So Looney Tunes and Hella Hands, I'm going to be cooking up a lot of stuff for you guys. So if you guys were interested in those two, I'm very interested in those. I'm not a fan of the other one, the Einkraft. Not a fan of it. Maybe I'll do something. I don't know. But I like the Hella Hands and I like the Looney Tunes. So I'll definitely be saucing up that and mix and matching and seeing what we could build to get super creative with it. And I hope you guys also help me out with that as well. With that being said, guys, make sure if you got friends, you got family, you got loved ones, you got local players that need some inspiration, whether it's physically, mentally, or, you know, or just creative people that can add value to this channel, send them the link, have them join this community, guys. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers. Let's keep growing this community, keep making something absolutely beautiful, guys. So I appreciate all of you guys. All of y'all stay blessed. We got a lot on the way, guys. I will make sure I have Swole Duels out this Saturday. Swole Duel will most likely be with VSK9. I'll show you guys how I play VSK9. And then we'll also do counter guides. I will do a couple counter guides soon. I owe you guys counter guides. I had it built, I just didn't record them yet. So we'll go over the counter guides. I need to update it a little bit after watching some replays. And I think there's other cool niche interactions for certain matchups from the K9 variants and the Yummy variants and the branded Draco Tail variants. So we'll go over all of that. I will make sure I put out the interaction guides as well. So stay tuned, lots on the way. If you guys want a combo guide for VSK9, let me know, put in the comments. I'll go over the gameplay, the game mechanics. Naturally, mine is more K9 focused, but overall, it is still very, very, very solid, and you can pretty much get to the pieces you need. So stay tuned, guys. Lots on the way. Y'all stay blessed.